Hi, alright, so we're gonna start with part 4 of our SHSAT 2021 math review. So let's do problem 82. So we have a figure, and N is the midpoint of MQ. So MQ is the line segment, and N is the midpoint of that. Which segment has length 2x minus y centimeters? Okay, so if x centimeters is the length of mn, right, and we know that n is the midpoint of mq, and so this would be length x, this would be length x, so we know that therefore mq would have a length of 2x, and then if we subtract y from that, so this is y, right? Then what we would get is this. So this would be, if this is y and mq is 2x, then this would be 2x minus y, right? Because we're taking this length, which is 2x, and we're subtracting this length. So therefore 2x minus y is this length, and this is just PQ, right? So PQ has length 2x minus y. Okay. Alright, on to 83. So we have a parallelogram here, I guess, and we want to know what the area of the parallelogram is. So an area of a parallelogram would just be basically its length or its height times its width. So we're given a height of 20 feet, and then the width is 30 feet, right? This is 30, and it makes a right angle. That's how we know that it's width, or we can multiply it. And then this would be 25 feet, right? So the reason why we don't use 25 feet is because this line is not does not make a right angle with the height. So that's why we use our 30. Right, so this would be our width or base, and this would be our height. So therefore area is 30 times 20, which is 600 square feet. Okay. Alright, so on Wednesday, a baker produces 100 more loaves of bread than were produced on Tuesday. On Thursday, the baker produces 50 fewer loaves than were produced on Tuesday. If the total number of loaves produced on all 3 days was 230, how many loaves were produced on Wednesday? Alright, so let's call the number of loaves that were produced on Tuesday as, I'm just gonna call it I. So I is the number of loaves that were produced on Tuesday. And we're told that on Thursday, the baker produces 50 fewer loaves than on Tuesday. So that's I minus 50. And then finally on Wednesday, the baker produces 100 more loaves. So I plus 100 than were produced on Tuesday. So therefore, we can sum these quantities together to get the total number of loaves produced on all 3 days, and we know that that must be equal to 230. So now we can solve for I. So we add up the I terms to get 3I, and then negative 50 plus 100 is just plus 50, and this is 230. So solving for I, we would just get 60. But remember that this is the amount of loaves produced on Tuesday. So to get the amount on Wednesday, remember that the amount on Wednesday is just I plus 100. So 60 plus 100 is 160. So that's H. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, 85. So we have a bunch of quiz scores in a class. Okay, so we see that a lot of students get 60 and then fewer students get a higher grade, it looks like. In the table above, what is the mean quiz score? Okay, so I'm just gonna so I know I'm gonna sum up the quiz scores and then I'm gonna divide it by, so I know that the mean is just the sum of quiz scores divided by number of people taking the quiz. So let me scroll down. Okay, so to get the sum of the quiz scores, I know that 9 students get 60, right? So that would be 9 times 60. And then 7 students get 70. 8 students get 80. And sorry, no. 4 students get 80. 5 students get 90, and 3 students get 100, right? And then we can divide by the total number of students, right? So that would just be 9 plus 7 plus 4 plus 5 plus 3. And then it would just be basically arithmetic, right? So just compute this division. And I think what you would get is, I'm not exactly sure. I would have to do the math. But here, let me do it quickly. So 540 plus 490 plus 320. I don't know. I don't really want to do this math, but I think that it's probably going to be C. Just eyeballing it. But yeah, you should definitely check that. Here, actually, let me check it quickly. Yeah, so it's 75. All right. Okay, so which graph represents the solution to the inequality, this inequality? Okay, so let's actually solve this inequality for x. So we do that by subtracting 4 from both sides. So we get x is greater than or equal to -1. So x must take a value greater than or equal to -1. So E looks correct. And that's the answer. Okay. So the reciprocal of 1 over 4. So the reciprocal of 1 over 4 is 1 over 1 over 4, which is just 4. So 4, I'm just going to say 4. 4 is added to the reciprocal of 3, and we know that the reciprocal of 3 is just 1 over 3. So we have 4 plus 1 over 3, which is just 4 1/3, or 13 over 3. So that's the sum, and then we're being asked for the reciprocal of this sum. So that would just be 3 over 13, or A. Okay. So 88, Nura made a square poster with a side length of 13 inches. So maybe this is her square poster. And then Latrice made a square. Oh, right. It's okay. This is a rectangle. It looks like a rectangle, but just imagine that it's a square, right? Latrice made a square poster with a length of 15 inches. What is the difference in square inches between the area of Latrice's poster and the area of Nura's poster? So basically we have to compute the area of both posters and then calculate the difference. So I'm just going to say difference is, so the area of Latrice's would just be 15 times 15, and then the area of Nura's would be 13 times 13, and then I think that difference would be 56. Okay. All right, 89. Okay, so we're given ingredients for 4 servings of oatmeal. So in order to make oatmeal, we need oats. We need 2/3 cup of oats to make 4 servings of oatmeal, and 3 1/4 cups of water. Okay. Then what is the unit rate for cups of oats per cup of water? Okay, so basically what this is asking is if we have 1 cup of oats, so one cup of oats, how many, proportionally, how many cups of water do we need? Right, so basically we're scaling the number of cups of oats up to 1, and we need to figure out how much to scale up the cups of water by. And when we say unit rate, that's basically what it means, right? I think. So the unit rate means assume that we have 1 cup of oats, I think. Okay. So we can do this by actually setting up a proportion, right? So we know that for every 2/3 cup of oats, we have 3 1/4 cups of water, right? And we want to know if we have 1 cup of oats, how many cups of water. So that's a proportion. So we're just going to cross multiply here, and we get 3 1/4 times 1 over 2/3 as our answer. So that would just be 13 over 4 over 2/3, which is 13 over 4 times 3 over 2, which would be 39 over 8. And that is not an answer. Okay, so maybe the unit rate means, I guess the unit rate means not 1 cup of oats, but maybe 1 cup of water, maybe. So in that case, it would be, hang on. So in that case, it would be, if we cross multiplied, then we would get 2/3 over 3 1/4, which if you did the algebra would be 8 over 39. I think. I don't know. Here, let's see. 2/3 times 3 over 13. Hang on. No, I'm sorry, 4 over 13. So that's 8 over 39. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the right answer, but I don't really understand what they mean by unit rate. So I think that that's what they mean. Okay. So we're given this algebraic equation, and we're being asked to solve for x. Okay. So I'm going to first simplify this subtraction. So we have 3 over 5 minus 1/2. So that would be 6 over 10 minus 5 over 10, which is 1 over 10. So we have x over 10. I'm just multiplying 1 over 10 by x. And then is equal to, and I'm going to combine these fractions on the right, so this would be 3 over 12 plus 8 over 12, right? I'm just making a common denominator. So this would be x over 10 is equal to 11 over 12. So therefore x, I'm just going to multiply by 10. So x is 110 over 12, which is the same thing as 55 over 6. Okay. In a certain state, the sales tax rate increases from 7% to 7.5%. What was the increase in sales tax on a $200 item? Okay, so before the sales tax before was $200 times 7%. So that's just 0.07. And that would be 200 times 7 over 100. And that would just be $14. So that was our previous sales tax. And now our sales tax afterward is 200 times, now our new sales tax is 7.5. So that's 200 times 7.5 over 100. And that's just $15 now. So our sales tax increases from $14 to $15. So the increase is $1 for a $200 item. Okay, and I think we'll end that video there and start off at 92 next time.